Okay. Okay, so we are recording. Okay, so so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kimberly, and I'm an energetic allergy healer. And first of all, I just really want to thank you guys for taking time out of your day to show up here at this webinar. I'm really excited to share my work with you. Actually, I'm excited to share it with the whole world, but we're going to start here with you guys today. So first of all, I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea about the format of this webinar today, so you just know what to expect. First of all, I'm going to share my story with you, talk about allergies, of course, what they are, how they affect us, and how you can live your life free from them and many of the symptoms that they cause. Then I'm going to open up the floor for questions and answers. And then I'm going to get to the part that I know many of you are waiting for, which is I'm going to give a spot away in my allergy healing program that starts next week to some lucky person today. So, and at that point, I'm going to talk about the program, and then I'll answer any questions you guys have about that. And then we're going to announce the winner of the program. So does this sound good to everybody? Hopefully that sounds good. You can always throw a message in the box if you want to, in the chat box. Okay, good. Okay, Dora, Sandra, Mona, awesome. Okay, thank you. So here we go. So some of you know bits and pieces about me and my health history through various Facebook posts. For the sake of those who don't, I'm going to talk about that right now. So I'm a spiritual healer. One of my gifts is healing allergies. So more about myself is I've come from a whole family of really sensitive people. And for us, that has meant a lot of allergies, which have translated into digestive problems, chronic sinus infections, addictions, dental problems like chronic skin conditions, debilitating fatigue, fibromyalgia. I mean, I could go on, that's just to name a few. And we're talking, that's like kind of my family picture, that's not all just me, but talk about no fun and struggle. And this all changed for all of us, like not just myself and my own children, but my parents, my grandparents, even aunts, uncles, cousins, and then on out to clients. So this happened for me and my family when we began to heal our bodies by healing allergies. I could fill up a book with all of our stories on how this has changed our health and our lives. And actually, in fact, I am. This method works so well and has helped so many people that I've been asked to teach others to do what I do. So I'm actually starting to put that together now, and I'm really excited to move forward into teaching this method to reach more people. And it so happens that the love of my life was brought into my life, not just because of our soulmate connection, but also he's meant to help me bring this work into the world, and he is doing just that. His name is Jesse. He's actually here with us because he's going to be helping me today. Jesse, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you.
Yeah, when we met, he actually understood the work that I did almost better than I did. It was kind of crazy. So, so he's going to be helping me out, making sure things are recording right, making sure I'm helping you guys answer questions okay, and whatever else, kind of helping me run things more smoothly. So more about my story. I was a slave to allergies my whole life. I had allergy shots from the time I was 2 for like dust and molds, and even my own body bacteria, which was actually like cutting edge alternative stuff back then. I spent my childhood and much of my adult life with chronic ear infections, bursting eardrums, had to have tubes put in my eardrums for drainage, and it was a mess. But sinus infections, bladder infections, I had PCOS, the bladder infections went into my kidneys 3 times. I was on an antibiotic loop, kind of stuck in that because of the bladder infections and stuff, which led to chronic yeast problems. I was always nauseous. I ended up having chronic fatigue, like from Epstein-Barr virus that hit me in high school when I was 15. And it was so severe that I actually failed my first 3 classes of the day because I couldn't get out of bed in the mornings. And I ended up having to have a tutor to pass the 9th grade. And then we can throw in like some really awesome brain fog, hay fever, food allergies, majorly to dairy. I can actually remember going to my aunt's house when I'd babysit all the time, and opening up her refrigerator, grabbing a carton of milk and just drinking it because my mom didn't let me have milk and I never could have it. And I was craving it so bad. That was kind of wild. So no dairy for me. Citrus fruits made me cough really bad. My mom would feed me oranges. I'd want more and I would just get this worse and worse cough. Anyway, I keep going, really. I had digestive problems, had skin problems. So painting a pretty crazy struggle picture. But I can tell you that that's all gone. Like that's all part of my past. Like I can't remember any, I haven't, like the last time I struggled with any of those things. So, and this is really all because of healing allergies at the energetic level. It's changed my life and my daughter's lives. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So then I got to have 2 daughters and I got to experience all the pain of my own lifelong struggles with allergies and illnesses through them because they were experiencing much of the same thing. And it was really heartbreaking. My oldest daughter's childhood was very difficult because of her overwhelming allergies. She had behavior problems that were crazy, where I would just end up crumpled on the floor in tears sometimes because I didn't know what to do for her. She was one of those kids they wanted to medicate, label ADHD. She suffered from severe anxiety, negative self-esteem issues, digestive problems of her own, which she spent more time in a nurse's office than she did in the classroom. And you can probably imagine she had trouble functioning socially and really getting along with others. But because of allergy healing, she was completely transformed. She became calm, far less emotional. She gained the ability to reason, to function successfully in her daily life. Her anxiety levels came down. Her digestive problems completely disappeared. She graduated from University of Washington last year. She's already created her own successful business where she helps other women with their own self-esteem and body image issues. She's in an emotionally mature, healthy relationship with the perfect guy, and her career is taking off like a rocket. So, this is a kid that I thought was never going to leave my home because she wasn't going to function enough to be able to do that. So it's a pretty telling story. And then my other daughter, she spent most of her life sick with one thing or another also, stomach aches. She had really bad concentration problems, really bad brain fog, and she was sick all the time. In fact, in middle school, she missed a whole month of school, and the teachers had to all pull together just to help her pass the school year and not get held back because she couldn't focus or concentrate on anything, like to save her life, that poor kid. Super problematic when you're in school. So there was a time when I just couldn't imagine that she'd even make it to college because of these issues she had, but she's now a junior at Western Washington University. Not only did she get in, but she's doing great. She's getting good grades. Like, I'm really blown away. She's really an intelligent girl and emotionally well-balanced. And she's got this really amazing ability to see all sides of an issue from each person's perspective. She's like a real life peacemaker. She's pretty awesome. So I know that everything that I went through, everything I watched my kids go through was all leading me to the creation of this modality. So let's talk about allergies. And again, this is a lot. This is kind of a information-packed webinar. So I definitely will give you guys time to answer questions. So write anything down and we will cover stuff. But talking about allergies, so the brain recognizes an allergy as anything that causes inflammation and like an unnecessary immune reaction in the body. This overstresses and drains our otherwise efficient energy systems. So when we're allergic to the very things that our bodies need to function properly, to be healthy and strong, like vitamins, minerals, fats, and proteins, it doesn't matter how many supplements you take or how many vegetables you eat, your body will not be able to use and absorb those nutrients. So, and most people, you guys don't know it, but we're allergic to those things that are the building blocks for our body to have healthy cells and healthy immune systems. So for instance, I was really allergic to oranges. Now, some people really are allergic to the orange, but I'm going to use this as an example. The average person is allergic to the vitamin C or the bioflavonoids that's in the orange, and not necessarily the orange itself. And this is because the brain recognizes the elements in the orange that it uses to build the cells of our bodies with. It's just kind of how it works. So people that are allergic to eggs, they're allergic to like the cholesterol that's in the eggs. They're allergic to the vitamin A that's in the eggs. They're allergic to the amino acids in the eggs, not necessarily the eggs themselves. So that's kind of how our brain works. We're sitting down at our table with our parents. We're having breakfast, and we've got that bowl of cereal, we've got the milk, we've got the grains in there, and mom and dad are fighting, and it's really traumatic, and our system goes into overwhelm and overload, and your brain goes, trauma, and I'm associating it with, it's this dairy that's in the bowl, it's the milk, or it's the grains. And voila, like an allergy is born. So that's how that works. And this is really problematic because you can take all the best supplements out there, and you can eat really beautiful, healthy, organic foods, and you can actually be causing more inflammation and more energy drain to your body because you're allergic to them. It's a huge problem. And the other side of that too is when we can't absorb our nutrition properly, we feel constantly hungry. We feel compelled to eat larger quantities, to eat more often than necessary, because our brain is telling us that it's not getting what it needs. So, that can cause weight issues. It causes us to eat way more foods that aren't good for us, or whatnot. So when we crave things, it's a sign that we have deficiencies and allergies. People who crave sugars, you're allergic to sugar. So just a heads up on that. In fact, this works really good for knocking out cravings. If you've got like a big sweet tooth, this will knock it out. This will put you back into balance and take that out of the picture for you. I see it happen over and over again. So where I start with allergy healing for everyone that comes to me is with these elements that I'm talking about, the elements that make up our bodies. When we're extremely allergic to something, many combinations, emotions, beliefs, or even traumas are creating that allergy, like I was talking about before. And I'm going to give you an example. Another example of this is my cousin was so allergic to plastic. She couldn't stand to smell it, touch it. She wouldn't drink out of any kind of plastic bottle. It just made her cringe and feel instantly terrible. Now, I did an allergy healing for her for plastics, but she still felt bad around plastic. So there was more work to do. Well, here's more of her story. She had been diagnosed with cancer a few months before her issues with plastic began. And when I did another allergy healing for her for plastics, I also had to clear the belief plastic kills me, along with a couple of other beliefs that were like that, in order for her allergy to heal 100%. Now, a couple days later, I was with her at a doctor's appointment, and she was actually drinking. She had a big old plastic water bottle in her hand, and I just kind of looked at her and looked at the plastic water bottle, and I'm like, wow, so how are you doing with that? You've got a plastic water bottle in your hand. And she says, yeah. She goes, I feel completely fine. I feel neutral. My fears about it are gone, and it doesn't make me feel bad anymore. So she had her aversion to plastic completely disappeared. And, let's be real here. We live in a world full of plastic, but we don't have to suffer inflammation over it. We don't have to live that way. We can teach our brains and our bodies to live in peace and balance and harmony with the different things that are in our environment. So even the ones that are toxic. Seriously, it's all about the emotions and the beliefs. Negative emotional states like guilt, resentment, hatred, regret, and unforgiveness, they literally make us sick. They get stuck in our bodies. I just saw a comment from Dora. You're iron deficient. Okay. Because you're allergic to iron. We can fix that. That's easy. So negative emotional states like guilt, resentment, hatred, regret, and unforgiveness, they literally make us sick. They get stuck in our bodies. And then higher healing emotional energies like love and joy get restricted or even cut off. And this is a big, big deal. Like when we clear out our negative belief systems, our emotional traumas that are restricting or blocking that flow in our bodies and energetic fields, and we replace them with new positive ones, positive high vibration emotions like love and joy and forgiveness begin to flow through us like never before. And everyone has an energy flowing through their body, which can be called the chi, the kundalini, or even the love and compassion of God. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's the life force that flows through everything. So you can compare like the Mississippi River, for people who are here in the United States anyway, which is over a mile wide in some places versus like a smaller river like the Snake River. The comparison that the Mississippi represents could be referred to as the larger than life or a true force of nature. And so this is what this allergy healing work does. It like opens up takes that smaller river flow of energy going through your body and makes it nice and big and wide so that you can have a really amazing healing experience. And many of the belief systems that cause allergies in us are also inherited in our DNA. They're not even ours. This makes so much sense, as some children are born with allergies, a lot of allergies sometimes, like right from the start of their life. And children have been shown to have 80% of their mother's allergies in studies. So mom is lactose intolerant, baby's lactose intolerant. Mom is allergic to dust and molds, baby turns out to be allergic to dust and molds, and so on. What I find in the work that I do is that mom has the belief that the world is unsafe, and so does baby. Mom carries the belief that life equals pain and suffering, and baby's carrying the same belief. Those types of beliefs are a setup for allergies and illness. So the work that I do, as I do it now, was a path that started for me about 10 years ago. Just to give you a little bit more background about the actual modality. It started about 10 years ago with something called NAET. Stands for Nembodropad's allergy elimination technique. Some of you might be familiar with that, and some of you might not, but it was a really great way it actually works to eliminate allergies. It's a method that really does work. However, it's very slow, and it was very expensive, really time consuming too. But I found that method, and I got a lot of help from me and my daughters with some of the issues we were having. And that's really where my whole allergy, destiny with allergy healing sort of began. And, but it probably took me and my girls about 3 years just to get some of what we needed. And it cost me thousands of dollars. So when I learned, kind of moving forward a little bit, when I learned theta healing, I realized that allergies could be eliminated if you found the right beliefs, the right traumas, the negative emotions connected to them. But that too was time consuming and not all the way there for addressing allergies. Then I learned something called Instant Miracle. And with that work, I learned to do the work that I was doing with theta healing, like much quicker. It took my healing work to a whole new level. Then I had an epiphany, that light bulb moment, that big aha, that total God inspiration. And I was shown how combining all that I knew with all the experience that I had and the healing capabilities that I had, I was shown how to do this work a different way, the way that I do it now. And I was shown what all it can do for people, that it's so much bigger than just healing an allergy, that it could free people from many diseases, disorders, and pain in their bodies and in their lives. And this all came together. Since this all came together, I've watched clients walk away from thyroid medications, high blood pressure medications, acid reflux medications, and more. I've watched people recover from debilitating asthma, multiple chemical sensitivities that left them very dysfunctional, not able to work, chronic yeast infections, fibromyalgia, chronic migraines, digestive problems of all kinds, rashes, eczema, horrible dental problems. Like there's almost nothing this can't be used for. I've not found one thing that it doesn't greatly improve or heal altogether. So we have like just even teeth. One family member kept getting like one root canal after another. Like he hated going to the dentist because we had an abscess tooth, had to have an implant. Every time something bad had happened when he would go see the dentist. And after allergy healing. So he was allergic to calcium. He was allergic to his own teeth. Yes, we can be allergic to our own parts of our bodies. And other things he was allergic to that were causing digestive problems where he wasn't absorbing all of his nutrients. And now he gets straight A's every time he goes to the dentist. That was like 2 years ago, not one more problem. So this works. It really, really works. And a beautiful side effect of this work, since it is cleaning up so much of our emotional garbage, is that people are also experiencing not just feeling physically better, but emotionally better as well. They're experiencing more energy, more peace, more joy, and more love in their lives. So I think I've talked long enough about that now. So let's open this up to some questions. I gave you guys all the ability to unmute yourselves. So does anybody have a question for me? Let me see what's going on in this chat box over here on the side too. Looks like some of you have put some comments in here that I haven't been able to really look at. Oh yeah, infants who have sensitivities, that's easy. This works for whole families. So when mom heals, mothers can accept energy work for their children. So when mom says yes and has the work done, baby also gets the same healing. This works great for pregnant women. It works really well for children. I've helped babies get past diaper rash problems too. This work is great for diaper rashes, resolves that right away. Okay, so what else do we have here? Somebody's got a sweet tooth and PCOS and hungry. Yeah. Okay, and a liver infection. Yeah, so in this work, I didn't really get to talk about this too much, but I do work with, I clear, when I do a program with someone, which is making sure, like my program covers everything. It goes for 9 weeks. We cover everything from foods, all of those vitamins and minerals, the proteins, fats. Fats are really important to make sure we're clear on. Otherwise, we have hormone imbalances. We've got to have good, healthy fats and be able to use them properly to have good hormone function. So I also make sure to get to, I clear vaccinations, immunizations, antibiotics, prescription medications, all kinds of stuff. And what that does is that actually helps your body. You will detox. When you do this work with me, you start to detox. We do allergy healing for chemicals. We do it for parasites. We include radiation. There's so many different things, toxic metals, and your body will start to literally dump them, because we're going to clear confusion between your brain and your body, so that they can understand, your brain and your body can understand what to do with these things that it's been storing in various places in your body. So you will start to dump stuff naturally. And also you won't be getting inflamed over it, having inflammation happen in your body over it anymore. So that's why conditions like eczema or other types of skin rashes or skin conditions clear up really nicely when we do this work. Because our skin is our largest organ. It's our largest detox organ. So when we're having issues with toxicity, things come out our skin. We end up with crazy rashes, and that's where eczema and all that happens. So psoriasis is actually autoimmune. But yeah, this work is good for all that stuff. Okay, so several autoimmune diseases, says Nadine. And yeah, autoimmune, you're inflamed all over the place when you're having autoimmune things happening in your body. This works great for that. I've watched a lot of people, like fibromyalgia is one of those that comes from the autoimmune, rheumatoid arthritis, different types of arthritis. I've watched all this stuff literally disappear for people. NAET. Erin knows about NAET. And she loves Instant Miracle and Theta. Yay. Okay. Yeah, NAET does work, but you can only clear one thing at a time. Literally, like if you're allergic to vitamin C, you go in, you spend $80, $75, $80, depends on who practitioner you're seeing. You spend an hour of your time, maybe it's a half an hour on the table, but you got to get there, you got to go back and all this stuff. And you can only clear vitamin C, whereas in this group, doing it energetically this way, we get to clear a handful of things. And we get like pretty much I clear all the vitamins all at one time. And that translates to like 7 or 8 different trips to NAET. And plus you get to do it from the comfort of your own home, right in your living room, sitting on your couch like me right now. So, can you do it for your mom and your dad? So here's what I have to say about that. I'm happy to have people share this work with their families. What will happen is, in the program, you'll be live with me. If you're in the program or working with me that way. So you'll be with me. You'll receive the healing. You can't really say, my mom and dad, this is for you too, and have them have it. Not necessarily. That's like a fine line thing. In Theta Healing, they tell us, don't do other people's healing. That's their job. So that's a little bit of a gray area. But what you can do is I make recordings of all the work that I do with you. So if you're a client of mine, whether it's in a program or working privately with me, I make recordings of all of our allergy healing sessions. And I am okay with you sharing that with your family members. And then they can accept the healing for themselves. All they have to do is say yes in order to receive the allergy healing from the recording. And sounds kind of crazy and out there, but it works. It works every time, all the time. So, and then you also get to keep your recordings too, because, which is really a great thing, because that way, if you have any other shock or trauma that comes up in your life later in time, maybe 3 or 4 months down the road, you're having a relationship struggle, you have a fight with your boyfriend, your husband, your parents, your children, whatever, you can have some allergies reactivated because of the trauma that's going on for you. And all you have to do is whip out your recordings and listen to them again, and it will clear. So that takes you having to pay me more money out of the equation, which is a really great thing. However, sometimes I do find that some people need me in a session even after to resolve long-standing, maybe childhood traumas and stuff, to have certain things clear 100%. That does happen, although mostly people clear up really nicely and quickly. So let's see here. We've got more questions. Okay, hi Bob. I've used several modalities that are similar to NAET. Oh, and none were successful. Okay, it seems that allergy is cleared when I leave the practitioner's office, but then returns as soon as I come in contact with the allergen. Will your program allow the allergies to clear up completely? I have to say yes to that. I haven't had an experience that tells me otherwise. So here's what I'll say about that, Bob. Sometimes we need to have an allergy healing done more than one time. What that tells me is that you have really complex allergies. You've got a lot of them, and they're deep. They run deep, okay? So you will need, every time you have, so let's say we've just done an allergy healing for minerals, okay, all minerals, all trace minerals, and we check you out the next week, and you need it again. I still test that you're allergic to it. I test by muscle testing, you guys. So I'll tune into someone. So I'll tune into like Bob here, and I will ask questions, what they need, what their priorities are to heal a disease in their body, what they're allergic to, what priority order to do things in, and a muscle test. I muscle test with my finger, called digital muscle testing. Hi, Bernie. Can you mute yourself?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so where was I? So I categorize things as like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4 allergy. Now, what that really means is 1 is like some sensitivity to something. So it's causing maybe a little inflammation somewhere in your body. A 2, you're going to have more symptoms. And then maybe that's your nose starts running, or a 3, you have eczema start showing up on your skin, or you have like really more severe reactions to certain allergens. And 4, you're like, that's a really severe allergy. So you can just kind of see what I'm talking about. So when you have something that you're allergic to that's more like a 3 or a 4, you're going to need to listen to the allergy healing recordings, or have me clear things more than one time. So Bob, I believe that this is what's been happening to you, is that you've got such system overload, that you need these more than one time. They do eventually get to the bottom. So each time this happens, so each time I do an allergy healing, I think I was talking about minerals. Each time I do an allergy healing for, say, it's minerals, more beliefs, more negative emotions, more shock and trauma. We even have oaths, vows, and contracts sometimes that are involved in allergies. And that sounds weird, and I won't go into that too much now, but each time I do an allergy healing for something, more of that stuff clears each time. But we have layers. Okay, we have things in layers. And when something's a really deep, complex issue, we're going to need to do it a few times. And me making recordings of our allergy healing has really made that possible for people to do that. I didn't used to do the recordings in the beginning, as Bernie would know, who just kind of came in here a minute ago. But I do now, and it's made a huge difference in the success of my clients for staying allergy-free, and really getting to the bottom of their allergies. So, and then to answer that question, Bob, just a little bit further, there still may be a couple of allergies that might be sticky points. Maybe it'll be grains, maybe it would be pollens, or, I mean, everybody's different. It could be anything for different people. It could be a part of your body. That's what my one-on-one sessions are for, because I do muscle testing, I tune into you, and I muscle test to see what's up. Why are we having trouble getting this certain thing to clear? And I locate or identify the beliefs and the traumas that are specific to that allergen for you. We pull those, and the allergen clears. We can get it to be 100%. I know this because we've done it over and over again with people. So you can get there. Some things might just take a little bit more work. So I hope that answers your question, Bob. If you have anything, another question about that, go ahead and type it up. So let's see, what else do we have? Oh, can you do a demonstration so that we can understand what you keep referring to? Okay. How do you pronounce your name? Is that Samalayan? I think I'm murdering that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, so do a demonstration. So I can do a demonstration of how I do the digging work. Okay, so I have allergen kits. I can show you here. I have a whole bunch of kits. Okay, these have so many different things on them. Like, I'm going to show you this one, for instance. This is just my kit for the brain. All of those things are parts of the brain. I have kits full of bacteria, viruses, parasites, funguses, molds, yeasts, heavy metals, the periodic table, all the elements. So I've got all this stuff. And so what I do is I always clear the fundamentals first, unless someone's having a super, super acute problem and needs like almost like emergency help. I clear all those elements, all of those I call them the fundamentals. I do those first. Then what I do is I tune into you in a session, and I just say, okay, so this person has PCOS, for instance. What allergies can we clear for this person to heal that problem? And then I just start muscle testing with my kits. I do some detective work. I call it going into detective mode. I ask some leading questions to help me find the answers. I ask, is it a contactant? Is it an allergy to an ingestant? Is it an allergy to an emotion? Because emotions are big when it comes to allergies. And I can go more into that. I don't know. I could go on for this for probably a couple of hours. I don't want to do this to you guys. So, but yet I really do want to answer your questions. So then I ask, is it a part of the body? Is it a pathogen, which can be bacteria, can be virus, fungus, mold, yeast, parasites? And that's how I narrow it down. So when I get yes, say I get yes to it's a part of the body. Then I go back to my kits, and I've got many kits that have detailed parts of the body, every gland, every organ, all of their tissues broken down, every little part, because we can actually be allergic to even the smallest of parts, even like in blood components, for instance. I've got a kit that has at least 85 different parts of that. There's antihistamine in there. There's histamine in there. There's cholesterol in there. There's the platelets, the red blood cells, white blood cells, and much more. But you can actually be allergic to very specific tiny things, and it can be causing you big problems. So I get PCOS, okay, yes, part of the body is a priority. Then I get out my parts of the body kit, and I keep muscle testing to identify which parts. I'll say, so how many parts do we need to identify? And then I locate them through muscle testing. Then I would ask, is there anything else that we need to include in this allergy healing for this person for PCOS today? And I would probably get yes, because these types of conditions are usually fairly complex. And then I would ask all over again, is this an allergy to an ingestant? Yes or no. An inhalant? Yes or no. An emotion? A pathogen? And so on. And I keep following that in that way until I get no, until I get that's everything. Bernie here has watched me do this. Jesse's watched me do this. This can take me a little bit of time to do, but it works really, really well. And this is how I do it. This is how I've helped people heal their asthma, heal their fibromyalgia, heal their PCOS, and much, much more. So does that help? Kind of tell you how I do that? Let's see here. Let me see if I can look at some more questions. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Several autoimmune problems, heavy in my family. Nadine. Okay. Thyroid issues. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like I said, like I've had people on thyroid medications and they've left them behind. They haven't needed them anymore. I would have to look up fibro lupus thyroid. Are those all different things? Like fibromyalgia, lupus, thyroid. Got you. Okay, I'm reading it better now. Yeah, I mean, I would just say, let's get to work, because we can make your life a lot better with this work. And Pammy, you say things like dust mites, molds. Those are easy. Those are easy peasy just to whip out and stop reacting to. And your thyroid issues too, that would be not a problem. Okay, oh, and can't eat wheat. So, I'm going to just say this about wheat and dairy. Everybody comes to me and they're like, wheat and dairy, wheat and dairy, wheat and dairy. And everybody's allergic to wheat and dairy. I never meet anybody who isn't. But we can clear it, and you can not be allergic to it. But I will still say that wheat and dairy are something that's overused in our diets. Wheat and dairy do produce mucus in our bodies. Okay, so they're kind of a natural inflammatory. But it doesn't have to be that bad. I don't ever tell people don't eat wheat, don't eat dairy. I eat wheat, I eat dairy. I love cheese. It's one of my favorite things ever. But I don't crave it. I don't eat a lot of it. I stay in balance. And I don't have to work at staying in balance with the foods that I eat. I used to crave sugar so bad. You should have seen, I used to eat like Snicker bars, boxes of Twinkies. I'm not kidding. Like bad when I was growing up. And I just crave sugar all the time. I'd make cinnamon toast when I got from school, like buried in it with sugar and cinnamon and butter. And it was like cocaine or something. It was like crazy and bad addiction. And now I don't crave sugar at all. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I love chocolate. I like ice cream sometimes, but a few bites of something and I'm just done. My body just doesn't want anymore. And I don't have to think about it. I'm in choice. I could eat more. I could put on a couple pounds, but my body just doesn't do it. And that's because I'm in balance with all of my vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats, all these different things. I don't have any of those kinds of cravings. I'm not allergic to sugar to crave it. I don't have yeast overgrowth in my body, so that makes you crave sugar. So all of that kind of stuff just are awesome side effects of this work. So people lose weight. All kinds of different things happen for people. Let's see, what else here? I'm probably missing some stuff, but oh yeah. So I don't want to say your name wrong again. Samalin. Sorry. So she says, what about physical problems connected to past life issues or the karma related? How many sessions are necessary and how long do the results last? Do you have allergies recur or return? Okay, so I think I've answered that a little bit. I make the recordings because yes, sometimes an allergy can get reactivated. The other part of that is that sometimes an allergy has those deeper levels and will need to be healed more than one time. The recordings take care of both of those things for you. How many sessions are necessary? Yeah, so when I was talking earlier about how with theta healing, I learned that you could do some healing and clear an allergy. So I learned that with this is so interesting, cotton. A lot of people are actually allergic to cotton, and yet we think that's the best fiber to wear because it's natural. One of those issues is like pesticides and things that are used in the crops. So we can clear that with an allergy, that's no problem. But an interesting point about that is I have actually experimented and cleared up someone's allergy to cotton just using theta healing by pulling past lives having to do with slavery in cotton fields. Same with wheat and wheat fields. I mean, how entrenched is our history in slavery in fields, rice fields, the grain, all different kinds of grain fields, tobacco fields, coffee fields. We also have oaths, vows, and contracts with certain things like that's come through religion, like alcohol, coffee, to name a couple anyway. All of this stuff gets pulled and clears when I do an allergy healing. So it pulls this stuff. So that was a really good question about past life and karmic stuff relating to allergies. So thank you for that question. And okay, let me see what else. We've got lots of questions here. Dun, dun, dun. Jesse, am I missing anything that you're noticing? Detox symptoms are minimized with this method. Dora. Oh, Jesse's talking to people already. Thank you, Jesse.
I don't think so. I was just reading through some of those too. I noticed Bob had some questions about if there's energy vials included, that are used. But that's not how you're using them. You're just using those kits to identify and clear the allergies. So there isn't any of those back and forth things that need to happen. That's one of the things that makes the method so efficient.
Yeah, I don't use the vials. When I was doing NAAT myself, I was the patient. The practitioner that was doing the NAT for me, I would go in and I would know what I was going to need to heal the next week because I was already a healer, and I was already really good at muscle testing. And so I pretty much know what he was going to help me with when I'd go there. And he got to understand that my muscle testing and that my intuition was very, spot on. And he basically said, you already know how to do this, because I'd been going for probably a couple years or at least a year. And he's like, you got what you need. He says the most important factor in this is being able to accurately muscle test. So, and the method for me just felt like second nature. I felt like I just knew how, like I just knew it. And so he's like, you go home, save some money. You can do this yourself and let me give you all the kits. So he gave me all the kits, Bob, in print. So the energy signatures of everything is in the words. We know this, Dr. Emoto, right? With water. transferring energy signatures into the water. But we don't need the actual vial. That's how Navajrapad does it anyway for NAAT, right? She's got a vial, it's just water in there, but it has the energy signatures of these various different allergens in it. But we just use the words, and the words do the same thing. And my NAAT practitioner told me that. And he was very, very, very right. So I do not use vials. I just have, I use the words of the allergen itself. So does that make sense? Does that answer your question, Bob? I don't like having everybody so quiet. I wish everybody could just be on and not have Zoom freak out. Okay, oh, there's that question. So, okay, that's good. Dora, I was just reading your comment about using alternative sweeteners and stuff, and that's great. Am I missing anything, or are we good to move on?
Rosie, did you get your answer? You're asking, my daughter has allergies, but I don't. Can I help her heal? And Kim talked about that a little bit. Did you hear her talk about that?
How old is she, Rosie? You can unmute yourself if you would like and talk to me.
Hi, thanks. She's 7.5.
Yes. So you can actually run the recordings. I can make them. You can run those for her. Also, energetically, you and your daughter are so connected that you can say yes for your daughter. So through you, she can receive the healing. So yes, that's an absolute yes. I work with children every day.
That's great. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, good. Okay, so where are we? That was lots of questions, and I have done a lot of talking. I'm getting tired of hearing myself.
We aren't.
You're not? Uh-huh. I hope that's true. Okay. So let's see here. Here's what I'm going to say. We need to move on. So if you guys have a question that did not get answered, or you think of a question once this is over, this webinar is over, Jessie will put a link to my website, okay? And you can email me any of your questions. I'll be happy to respond. I'm also happy to set up a small chat time, a phone call or something if you really want to talk to me some more. That's no problem either. We can do that. So just let me know. I'm happy to do that. So, okay, we need to move on. And so Jessie's going to do that. And I know you guys are all waiting to talk about this next part because we're going to announce a winner who's going to get to be part of it's going to be my very first group allergy healing program. This is a new thing for me, so I can help more people at one time. And I'm really excited about it. It can also allows me to make it at a more affordable price so that people and their families can heal, which is very important to me. So I'm going to talk about the program. I won't totally take up too much more time doing that because you guys we'll put a link in the chat box also that you guys can go check it out and really read about it. But I'm going to talk about it a little bit, answer any more questions that you might have about the program that's coming up, because it starts next week, and then I'll announce the winner for the free spot in the program. So, okay, so it's a 9-week program. Starts next week, Wednesday the 21st at 3 o'clock. Now, there might be a little wiggle room in that time. Once I see who all is signed up, we can have a group conversation and maybe tweak that time a little bit. But I do have a 2-year-old, so I got to work within a time that works for my nanny. But there might be some room in there to change that time a little bit. We'll see. However, if you cannot be there live, but you still want to be a part of it, I will be recording all of it. And those recordings will be available for you. And if you can't attend live, you will still have the same healing benefits. The allergies will still heal, and you'll still get to schedule your 2 included private sessions with me to tune into your personal stuff. Okay, so So that's going to happen. Then in the first week of the program, I'm going to be doing over 100 different feeling downloads. Feeling downloads, I'll explain super briefly. They are positive beliefs or feeling downloads. The idea behind that is if you don't know what something feels like if you've never felt good in your body, if you've never felt good in your own skin, if you've never experienced a lot of energy and you don't know what it feels like, that it's really hard to create it or almost impossible to create it in your life. So I give you guys belief work, these positive beliefs, these positive feeling downloads before we even start our allergy healing to really set you up for success. Okay, so there'll be things like I know what it feels like to receive a healing, to help people be open to this healing work. I know what it feels like to know that my body can heal, that anything in my body can heal, that any condition is quote unquote curable or can be healed. Different things like that. I know what it feels like to have lots of energy every day to accomplish everything that I want to with my life. Like those are just a couple of things off the top of my head, but I have over 100 of these that I've collected that I have found that my clients really needed. So I've included them in a big list, and now I do those for everybody when we start. So we start there. Then I'm going to talk about nutrition. I have some ideas about how people should eat, but that doesn't mean you have to do what I say necessarily, but I'm definitely, people ask me all the time. So I'm going to include this in the program. I also am going to recommend certain supplements because allergy healing is awesome, powerful. Also, though, people are deficient, and I want to help you get your immune system really nice and strong. And good nutrition is a part of that. So I will suggest some vitamins. I will suggest some minerals. I will suggest some things to get your really good fats going in your body. And I can muscle test for deficiencies for everybody that's in the group, see where you're at. And once we clear the allergies for those vitamins, minerals, and fats, your body will be starving for them. Like it's going to be really want them. So you're going to want to have some good supplements on hand to help correct your deficiencies. Vitamin D is a big one. So, okay, so we will talk about that all in the first week. And then we'll do our first allergy healing also that first week. Then the next 5 weeks, or the first 5 weeks, I should say, are going to be focusing on what I talked about earlier, those fundamentals, those basic things that your body needs to build a strong immune system, all the vitamins, all the minerals, all elements, fats, proteins, and parts of your body. And again, yes, we are allergic to our own bodies and many parts of our own bodies. I find this over and over again. So week 6, it's gonna be all about food and food chemicals. So that's where you're gonna get all the grains, all the dairy, gluten, all fruits, vegetables. I even include colors because people are actually allergic to the colors of some of their fruits and vegetables. In fact, I find that people that are allergic to their green leafy vegetables, which are supposed to be so good for you and you want to have so much of them in your diet, and yes, it's true, you do, but when you're allergic to them, it's a problem. And I find that a lot of people are actually allergic to the color green. Really interesting. So we do all of that. Week 7, we're going to, what's week 7? Okay, so week 7, we're going to be, molds, fungus, parasites, pollens, a lot of environmental agents will be week 7. We get to things like detergents. We get to do things like fabrics and materials. Week 7 is also when you'll start to schedule your one-on-one sessions with me so that we can really tune into your personal health issues and really get those knocked out for you. Like whatever you need there will get done in those sessions. Week 8, we're going to focus on chemicals and toxic substances, more agents. So there's going to be things like diesel fuels, like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide is in there, car exhaust, fungicides, insecticides, pesticides, germicides, like all that kind of stuff. We're going to get all of that for people. And then week 9, we'll wrap it up with prescription medications, immunizations, bacteria, viruses, and some really specific emotional work. So, what about GMOs? I clear those too, Erin. So every time I do an allergy healing for wheat, for instance, I say all wheat, wheat protein, all wheat chemicals, because that's the pesticides, the insecticides, and whatnot that's in the farming on the crops, and all wheat GMOs. I say that too because we do get stuff. Even when we try to eat clean, we don't always get to eat clean. So I do include that, and it really does help people not, have extra inflammation about that. And I do think GMOs are good to avoid personally if you can. But we don't have to have extra inflammation over them in our bodies when we do ingest them. So this program is super thorough. I promise you it's life-changing. I watch it happen again and again. So do you have any questions for me about the program before I announce the winner? EMFs. Erin, you are good. You are on this. Yes, we work with EMFs, don't we, Bernie? Don't we, Jesse? Yes. So electrical magnetic frequencies. Yes. I even clear like dirty wiring that's in the walls. Okay. I'm very thorough. I clear all lighting, fluorescent lighting, halogen lighting, computer radiation. People are even allergic to moon radiation, even the earth radiation, sun radiation, UV light. All of this stuff gets cleared when you work with me. And it makes a really big difference. Okay, is there any other questions? So even what can be in our water, Sandra says. Yes, I have a whole kit full of, you have water from a well. Yes, okay, so this is a good example, Sandra. I'm glad that you asked this question. Oftentimes people are allergic to water in general. I mean, our body is what percentage of water? So our lives are, we are immersed in water, ha, ha, ha. So, okay, bad joke. So a lot of people are allergic to water anyway. I do have a kit that has all the water chemicals in there, and I do those when I work with people. Water from a well. So I don't know what all's in your well water, but I don't need to know because your body knows, your brain knows, Sandra. So all I have to do is, in an allergy healing, if you are having any issues with the water that's in your well, is command an allergy healing for you for your well water. Sandra reads well water, and your brain will identify everything that's in there, and it will clear it all. It's easy. I know I say this a lot, but I watch this happen over and over, and see it work successfully over and over. So it's really simple. So yes, so we can do custom allergy healing work, so to speak, as well, with any issues that you have. Okay, so Sandra says, wow, so I wouldn't even need to have my water tested, updated to get the allergy. Yes, that's true. Yes, that is true. Okay, so I think, does anybody have any other questions, or should we announce our winner? I think we should announce our winner. So I did say that you had to be here live to qualify. So with that in mind, I think, so I have a random number generator, and I have it up on my laptop right now. And I did this just before we came on. And I think, Jesse, can you help me with this? The first person that came up was Anastasia Sal, but I don't know if she's here. I don't think she is.
She's not.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay.
Bendy's not here, but the one other person that, actually the first person that came up when we talked about it before on the random number generator was actually Bob.
It was Bob.
It was Bob.
And Bob is here.
Bob is here.
So Bob, it looks like you're in my program.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you'll see how cool it is, Bob.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. So it looks like Bob Zitney is our winner, and he's going to be in the program for free. So this is exciting. Yeah. Oh, I know. Sorry, Pammy. Random number generators. I just told Creator I'm like, whoever can really benefit from this work and, you know, could really use the help with it and this is the highest and best, to win it, let them have it. And this is what we got. So there we go. I wish I could give it away to everybody, but I can't do it.
So Kim, maybe just let people know you have a certain number of slots. A few of them are filled now, and
I do.
More.
I do. So I have about 8 more slots in my program that starts next week. Right now, I haven't really been promoting it. I've been promoting this webinar instead. So I have eight more spots. What I will do, this program's already priced. I won't be able to probably price it this low even next time, but this is my first run through, so I wanted to make it more affordable. But if you guys want to sign up today, message me and I'll give you $50 off of the $697 price tag on there. You can message me and I'll give you a link that you can pay with that discount on there. Okay, so does anybody have any other questions for me? I think we're doing good. Okay, well, thank you again for joining me here. And if you do have more questions, please email me. I will answer all your questions. Okay, thanks again, you guys, and have a really great day. And I hope to see you guys starting next week in my program. Okay, all right, bye-bye.